I'm Jeff Vogel for Art Buzz TV. We are on Flamingo in West Palm Beach here at the Paul Fisher Gallery. They've got the doors open tonight. It's a beautiful night in West Palm Beach, and there's an exhibit going on right now, an opening for the exhibit by J. Stephen Manolis. The exhibit is called Color Matters, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to meet up with the artist and perhaps find out his perspective on tonight's opening here at the Paul Fisher Gallery. J. Stephen Manolis, this is a fun night we're about to encounter. Hasn't quite started yet, so I thought I'd grab you before it got too busy. Your feelings before it all gets crowded tonight?
Well, of course, I'm very excited and I'm very honored. Artists in their life don't have solo exhibitions that much, and this is my third. I'm here in Palm Beach where I have a lot of friends and lifelong friends and acquaintances, and I'm so excited to be able to do it at the Paul Fisher Gallery, which has such a sterling reputation. And we spent 2 days selecting from 150 paintings to determine the 42 that actually made the show, and there's a real skill in it. My studio manager, Alex Vignoli, is a creative genius as it relates to it, and I think it really came out wonderfully. I think it gives a good indication of the breadth of my work, as well as the different mediums and different surfaces that I paint on. And so as an artist, of course, I would like to express myself through color and through energy and motion to my audience, and I think this show accomplishes that.
I was reading a little bit of your biography and the paths that you followed in terms of the development of your art. It's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
Well, for me, this is a long march journey. When I was 8 years old, I told my family I wanted to be an artist, and my beloved grandfather, who was from Greece, said no grandson of his was going to be a communist. And that was because not all people were communists in Greece, but all artists were communists. And so as an immigrant and a person who loved America, he associated art and with communism. And so that ended my early on art career. I was the kid who always had the pencil and the paper. And so I've had a lifelong interest in art. It's been a dominant dimension of my life, every moment. I painted privately for nearly 40 years with who I consider to be the greatest living colorist and incredible teacher, Wolf Kahn. He in turn learned from a person, Hans Hofmann, that most consider the greatest living greatest colorist of all time, and he was the father of the New York School of U.S. Abstract Expressionists. And I think through Hans Hofmann, through Wolf Kahn, I learned the ability to express myself in color. And as Hans Hofmann said, one great piece of color is a million words at a minimum. And so that's my philosophy on being a color painter.
Listen up, America. This is an important medical alert for anyone suffering from back or knee pain. If you or a loved one suffers from back or knee pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, you can qualify for a pain-relieving back or knee brace at little or no cost to you. Stop living in pain because the brace you need is too costly. Call Listen Up America right now for more details. The call is free and there's no obligation.
Please call 800-299-6799.
One-of-a-kind videos, unique perspectives, original programming, only on Buzz TV Network. Spread the word and tell a friend. Color is the predominant theme tonight, and yet up front there are some black and whites that you've done.
Well, the name of the show is color matters, because I do think color matters. And if I were to be critical at a macro level of our society, I don't think that we pay enough attention to visual communication and visual integration in an artistic context. There are many different cultures and societies that are much higher in terms of their spectrum and their importance as it relates to the arts. But now I'm speaking academically, if you're a great colorist, you have to be able to paint in a monochromatic matter, like this red painting, which has got 11 colors of red. You need to paint with many colors on a canvas, whether they be primary, like Hans Hofmann did, or complementary, which Wolf Kahn does so well. But of course, then the last dive is if you can do it in a monochromatic matter, and if you can do it in a colorific manner, can you do it black and white? And that separates the men from the boys.
I'm curious if you've ever taken black and white photographs or looked at your color works on a gray scale.
Many times.
Yeah.
I'm nothing if not visual, and I experiment in a visual and a dimensional context with everything all the time. And so that's one of the ways and reasons that I did this.
Yeah. Color is a primal component of all animals, but of mankind in particular, because that's what we are. But color has an effect on the brain, doesn't it?
That's an understatement. Color has impact, and there's no right color. There's only your color. And so it's very interesting to see what people's favorite colors are, although almost all colors have a universal effect. I mean, red is a color of strength, passion, impact. Yellow is a color of warmth and hope. Blue is a color of cool and chic. Green is a color of nature and permanence and timelessness. I have a purple monochromatic work in the show. To me, purple is the most regal color. It is really remarkable to see how many different permutations of color you can come up with, and the answer is infinite. Each one of these has an impact on a person, and the beautiful thing is that the same color can have a completely different meaning and different impact in every single recipient's reception.
What's on your website? Video is now essential to your brand, and Buzz TV can help your business website stand out. Buzz TV is a full-service video production company creating video to highlight what you do best, with service and product news and demos, video for the web, YouTube, Facebook, broadcast TV, and social media sharing. Email buzztvnetwork@gmail.com today. We look forward to hearing from you.
Victims of mesothelioma and their loved ones may be entitled to receive a cash reward from over $18 billion in asbestos trust funds now available. If you or a loved one was diagnosed with mesothelioma, call the number on your screen now. Even if a loved one has passed due to mesothelioma, you may still be entitled to a cash reward. Time is limited. Call now.
Please call 800-970-0240.
We have caught up with Bruce Highlander. What do you think of this work by J. Stephen Manolis?
Well, I'll tell you, if you look carefully at this work, Stephen really is a consummate artist. At what he does, I would say he's really among the best that I know in terms of this kind of abstract expressionism and this kind of quality. If you stand in the room, there is you can assimilate this kind of artistic energy, this this kind of fulfillment of color harmony. And you know, a lot of people might look at the work and say, well, this is could anyone do this? Well, no, you really can't. I mean, you can teach almost anyone to do a decent landscape if they pay attention, or a landscape, or a still life. But the notion of painting an abstract expressionist composition, there's no narrative components here. You can't look in there and say, I see an angel somewhere. That's not what this is about. It's about the kind of visual poetry that Stephen has been able to kind of pull together. And so if you close your eyes, and these were all black and white pictures, you could see the secret of his composition. But he was fortunate enough to become a good friend of Will Kahn, who is really one of the great colorists alive in this world. And for 30 years he was a friend and had these great private lessons. So there's a common thread with a lot of artists that become famous and successful, and a good financial bet. Usually it is born with some kind of great talent, with some kind of DNA, a kind of an intuitive sensitivity to creativity. The second component is always finding somebody that you can study with that will really make a difference and will accelerate yourself 20 or 40 years because of their experience and because of their great teaching. Every great artist that I know of had a great teacher. Picasso had a great teacher. De Kooning had a great teacher. He was at Black Mountain. And de Kooning was my favorite artist that ever lived in America. He was an artist that didn't paint landscapes or still lifes. He was an abstract expressionist painter, something you can't really teach, something you have to learn. And Stephen here, as demonstrated on these walls, has really mastered this. The third thing that makes an artist get somewhere is ambition and hard work. And I happen to know that Stephen works an average of 12 or 14 hours a day or more. And because of that, you capture the energy, you hold the ball, and you make a home run. And I think that's what he's done here. This show is a home run.
It's funny that you had mentioned the black and white, looking at these in black and white. I asked Stephen if he ever takes pictures and looks at his paintings in a grayscale, and he says he does. Often he does that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think some of my favorite de Kooning paintings were black and white. I discovered an abstract expressionist painter 20 years ago, Harold Shapinski, and had the pick of the litter in terms of being his agent. And I picked a black and white picture. Because if you realize how difficult it is to make a picture that has an abstract character to it, that means that every single component, anywhere you go on Stephen's paintings, in any one spot, they all have an articulation of space. They have a great kind of motion and poetry and energy and movement. And all of those things is kind of like a band leader with all of these things that he's tossing up in the air. And he's making beautiful music with these pictures.
Exactly.
For more than 30 years, Bay Street Pharmacy has been your neighborhood pharmacy and one-stop healthcare center, offering prompt personal service, home delivery, and a dedicated staff that treats our customers like family with care and compassion. Bay Street Pharmacy, where caring people care for you.
Plant your business in the Buzz TV ID Garden and watch your buzziness grow. Make a 15-second business video ID. Plant your video ID in Buzz TV programs. Then spread your video ID on social media and watch your buzziness grow on Buzz TV.
Listen up, America. This is an important medical alert for anyone suffering from back or knee pain. If you or a loved one suffers from back or knee pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, you can qualify for a pain-relieving back or knee brace at little or no cost to you. Stop living in pain because the brace you need is too costly. Call Listen Up America right now for more details. The call is free and there's no obligation.
Please call 800-299-6799.
I'm attached to the art, admire people, admire talented people, and like Paul Fisher Gallery, there has a creation of few artists and they make combination of few of this like in balance. And what I really like, first of all, I like Paul himself. He's very friendly. Just way I just arrived, he's already greeting the people.
People have been telling me abstract expressionism. What is abstract expressionism?
Abstract expressionism is different than literal art. Okay, most art is depicting either a thing or an idea, but an abstract expressionist work is something that exists entirely on its own. Okay, it's something that exists for itself. It's not trying to be another thing. So to be able to represent, to express a thought, a feeling, a movement, an energy, or a power without using any kind of recognizable symbology or memory is really the most difficult thing to do. So a real abstract expressionist painter, like what we're looking at here, this work has a solid foundation. There's a painterly manner, there is a structure, there is a movement, there is a narrative that is imbued in the picture. But there's a moment in artists' careers when they are totally inspired, when the muse is on their shoulder and they're just on fire, man. They are painting 16, 18, 20 hours a day, and this kind of heat that is coming out of their minds shows on the canvas. When somebody's truly enraptured and in the throes of a creative storm, you would hear about Beethoven or Haydn just manically applying themselves. Nikola Tesla working 18, 20 hours a day for months at a time because they're connected to this grand vision and it animates them and gives them power and energy. And this guy, J. Stephen Manolis, at this time is there. And he's got the background. He's got this famous association between him and Wolf Kahn, and you can see that he really had this amazing education and has that foundation, but he's taken it somewhere that no one else is today, period.
Totally on the other side of the spectrum, you have on exhibit also these large animal figures.
I adore these things. I first saw these at Art Basel years ago where they became internationally famous. Yeah. They've been exhibited in installations all over the world. And it's an Italian art group, Cracking Art Group. It's a collective. It's a number of artists. And the first thing a lot of people think of when they see it, because of the enormous scale, which is astounding and almost ridiculous in scale. The one outside, we have a 9-foot tall snail, a 9-foot tall rabbit, a 21-foot alligator. But when you look at these forms, I look at this, and this is as serious to me as a Lalande. And none of these forms, none of these sculptures are trying to be comic or silly. They're not trying to be serious. But you look at this, and just everything I love about sculpture and form and color and mass, it's all right there. And it's plastic, it's recycled. It has a very strong environmental message. To me personally, that's a big part of everything that I do. I'm on the board of several wildlife and environmental organizations. My first career was as a state park and forest ranger. I've been a vegetarian since I was a teenager. I love and adore animals, and I'm totally committed to the environment and wildlife and wild places. So when a group of artists does more than just talk about recycling and adaptive reuse of materials and making beauty out of waste, it's attractive to me. And it's the coolest thing. I mean, how great is it to have something of this size and scale?
You've got a great night going on tonight.
I do.
Congratulations.
We've had
again.
a serious crowd here tonight.
It's good.
Yeah, I'm very proud of what we did tonight.
We have important health news that may be of dire importance to you, your family, or someone you know. If you or your loved ones need health insurance immediately, call Quote Rhino Health now. Let us help you find the health insurance program that provides you access to doctors, hospitals, and emergency services. As an added bonus for calling now, our providers can send you a no-obligation, no-cost prescription card, which can save you up to 50% off your prescriptions. Call the number on your screen now.
Buzz TV Network is now the fastest growing new media outlet in Florida. Watch BuzzTVNetwork.com.
Ron, there's a lot going on here tonight.
There certainly is. Big crowd, exciting work, and great colors. Stephen's range is just extraordinary.
Yeah. What I find interesting is he goes from grayscale to vibrant color.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm impressed by how he experiments. He's very improvisational. I think that's part of his artist statement, that he starts with a layer and then keeps building, never knowing where it's going. And it's just fabulous. I mean, the range is extraordinary, from very simplistic to very raw and organic to very detailed. And I think it's exciting. A friend of mine actually called from New York. He's interested in possibly investing because he read the review by Bruce and thinks his career is really taking off in a big way. So
you mentioned improvisational, and we spoke with Stephen, and he said it's supposed to have that effect, but it's actually very well planned.
Well, I think he starts unconstructed, and then in a way similar to how I used to work on earth art, it starts unconstructed, and as you go, you keep reacting, seeing what you've got, and then you can advise, implement, and take it in new places. Then it becomes structured.
Your work right now is highly structured. You would agree with that?
The new work, yeah. My old work is that's why I really love his. This is, in a vein that I was working on a few years ago till I got into letterscape. So I love this sort of thing. It's much more fun than what I'm doing now, but what I'm doing now is resonating and selling, so I can't complain.
Good deal. Well, it's all good, and everyone's got their own, what appeals to people is totally different.
Yeah, but Stephen's got an innate grasp of really unique aesthetics, and I love his sense of color. It's very visceral, which I really think is impressive.
If you just look at these colors, we have it all here. And this is the color of our happiness. Color is always important because people come and people touching, people see it. When you see, you want it, you believe it, you say, there, this is you, this is realistically you.
Tonight we are looking at some abstract expressionism, and you also own a gallery. And where is that located?
Here in West Palm Beach, just south of here.
Fantastic. So you're kind of coming across town to see what's happening here?
I was invited by the artist, actually, by Steve, who wandered into my gallery several weeks ago and invited me to this exhibition.
And how long have you known Steve?
About 2 weeks.
Really?
But I love his work.
So he's not a long, close, personal friend of any kind?
No, but I'm thinking about representing him in the future.
Right. So in that case, you probably want to say only nice things.
Yes,
right?
definitely. I love his work. I love it.
What are your impressions of what he's got going on?
I think he's extremely creative and talented, and I love the use of color. I think he's well on his way to becoming very, very successful.
What's on your website? Video is now essential to your brand, and Buzz TV can help your business website stand out. Buzz TV is a full-service video production company creating video to highlight what you do best, with service and product news and demos, video for the web, YouTube, Facebook, broadcast TV, and social media sharing. Email buzztvnetwork@gmail.com today. We look forward to hearing from you.
Attention! This is an important message for anyone who had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to their heart or lungs. Did your IVC filter move, break, or cause organ damage? The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, or even death. Call Jacoby and Myers today. You may be entitled to compensation. You won't pay a thing unless your case is settled.
Please call 800-378-0160.
What I am religious about, is that I think that all people should live in color. And if you do, and those colors are the ones of your choice, you're going to have a happier, more wonderful life.
Well, we've been talking about color, but it's not just about color. I mean, there is a certain amount of design aspect to what you do.
Well, believe it or not, as anarchistic as these paintings look, they are so highly planned, you would have no idea. And the ultimate to me is when I can make a gesture or a movement or a throw that is completely planned, that appears to be nonchalant.
Yes.
And my gestures become way more planned as the painting proceeds than when I get started, in which they're just very natural. I just kind of see where things go. And then I react to each one of the successive things that happen till the point where I'm finding just exactly what it is I'm trying to seek.
I was curious when I was looking at some of them why some of them are multi-paneled.
The answer is that most condominiums in Miami where I paint cannot take a big work of art in either the elevator or the doorway. And so if you paint in 2 panels, you can take each panel in, reattach them, detach the frame, put the frame together and put it on the wall. Everybody's got wall space, but nobody has the introduction space.
So are you telling me that this painting behind us is a 2-for-1?
The term I use is enmeshed. All right, and it's 1 6-foot by 10 foot, but the 2 6 feet tall, 5 feet wide panels will go through any door and fit in any elevator in all of Miami.
So you thought about this ahead of time, I can tell.
I plan everything, believe it or not.
Tell me a little bit more about this particular painting here.
Well, the name of this painting is Red World. I have a whole series of paintings. One of my idols in the art world is Richard Diebenkorn, and in his Ocean Park series, he painted Ocean Park again and again and again his entire life, and each year he renumbered the series. Red World to me is first the power and the passion of the color, but secondly, it represents, all my paintings have second and third dimension meanings. Red World to me is that state of mind in which you have the courage to live your feelings, to live your goals, to be all in, to not worry about the consequences of failure, but to go for the rewards of success. What I'm interested in is the impact and the feeling that my color has on you, not what I ordain it to be, but what it actually does. And one of my greatest levels of feedback, all right, is that the owners and collectors of my art continuously call and tell me how happy they are living with and experiencing my art.
Stop dirty, unread newsprint clogging our landfills with waste. Go green. Save a tree. Watch Buzz TV.
Have you or a loved one been prescribed the blood thinner medication Xarelto? Xarelto has been linked to serious injuries, including internal bleeding of the brain or gastrointestinal system, cerebral hemorrhage, and even death. At the law offices of Jacoby & Myers, we've been bringing compassion and experience to our clients for over 40 years. Jacoby & Myers is now taking claims from those injured as a result of taking Xarelto. You won't pay a thing unless your case is settled.
Please call 800-536-6093.
During the course of the past 100 years, advancements in technology have dramatically changed forever the manner in which people worldwide interact and now connect and communicate with one another. Welcome, Buzz TV.